there was one week that I was in China where multiple actors, including Simu Liu and Lupita Nyong'o, talked about how there's no opportunities. Because remember when Lupita did, she did 12 Years a Slave, and she was incredible, and she won an Oscar. And then after that, a lot of people were kind of like, where's Lupita Nyong'o? Like thinking that she was going to have this massive career. And she's been in movies, like she's had roles, but what she said in this interview is unfortunately the truth, which is like somebody who looks like her, who was in a film where she plays a slave, and that was an incredibly successful film, won Oscars, the expectations for her to keep playing roles like that, and how essentially she is faced with a choice of, do I keep playing these kinds of roles that they want me to play, or do I turn them down? But that means that I will have fewer opportunities. But I don't want to keep playing a slave. Like, hello, I did not become an actress so that I would play a slave for Hollywood.
One of the questions that I also have is, when you win your Oscar, how does that impact your career? And how that also opened doors for you to do many things that you're doing today?
Well, my winning an Academy Award came at the very start of my career. It was for the very first film that I had done. So it really did set the paces for everything I've done since. But you know what's interesting is that after I won that Academy Award, you think, oh, I'm gonna get lead roles here and there. Oh, Lupita, we'd like to play another movie where you're a slave, but this time you're on a slave ship. Those are the kinds of offers I was getting in the months after winning my Academy Award. And it was a very tender time because, the world now there's an expectation for you and your career. There were think pieces about, oh, is this is this beginning and end of this dark-skinned black woman, African woman's career? And I had to deafen myself to all those pontificators because at the end of the day, I'm not a theory. I'm an actual person. I like to be a joyful warrior for changing the paradigms of what it means to be African. And if that means that I work one job less a year to ensure that I'm not perpetuating the stereotypes that are expected of people from my continent, then let me do that.
Yeah. And, people over the years were like, why is Lupita not in more stuff? She was only 30 when 12 Years a Slave came out and was the film that shot her to instantaneous success. I'm pretty sure she's a graduate of Yale Drama School, which is one of the most prestigious drama schools in the country. And the answer should have been obvious, but she's confirming it here. It's that she just had more slave roles thrust upon her, and she was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And so that meant that she had less opportunities, but that she was trying not to perpetuate stereotypes and trying not to be pigeonholed because she's because of the color of her skin. And the truth is that Hollywood, when it comes to black actresses, still prefers lighter skinned or mixed race black women to play their ingenue roles, to play, the types of roles that just offer more variety. And with darker skinned black women, usually they won't find success until later in their lives, like Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, even like Angela Bassett. It's something where in their 20s and their 30s they miss out on the roles that go to go to people like Emma Stone, Jennifer Lawrence, Sydney Sweeney, you know, these actresses who they get to play everything. They can be the love interest. They can be in like weird A24 films. They can be, you know, whatever they want. The sky is the limit. And there's nothing, you know, there's nothing that holds them back from getting to play any type of role. Scarlett Johansson, they can even be Asian women. Exactly. They can lose the studio's money. Exactly. There's not the limits. Whatever limitations you guys see on white actors, the point is that on top of that, black actors have another level of limitations that isn't fair. Yeah, I mean, there's just still this idea that when it comes to the type of performers who can play a versatility of roles, it is white or lighter skinned ethnic actresses. Like a Zendaya, for instance. Zendaya will, you know, get opportunities that someone with the skin color of Lupita has to fight a lot harder for, no matter how talented she is. Yeah, ethnically, like if you're going to be ethnic, you better be ethnically ambiguous. Zendaya purposely goes for roles written for white characters, which someone like Lupita can't do. Yeah. And not because she doesn't have the talent. Lupita's one of the, honestly, I think Lupita Nyong'o is one of the most talented actresses out there. It's just the obstacles that she has faced, of course, because of the industry's nonsense. Yeah, the industry's nonsense that is still ongoing. Okay, here's Simu Liu's post. You know what I will say? I have cooked Simu Liu in the past, but recently I've really appreciated him speaking out. He spoke out against what I think it was like JD Vance, and he's been talking about the amount of backslide in Asian representation. He's been recently he's been based on the timeline. He has, and I've seen people be like, "Oh, this guy is so annoying," and so now I'm in my era of I'm standing with Simu Liu. I'm standing with Simu Liu because you know what I watched on the plane, who he mentions here in his or he retweeted it here. I watched Freakier Friday, which is the follow up to Freaky Friday. Manny Jacinto is so good. He's so good. He has everything. Oh my God. Oh my God. And he's what's the show that I haven't watched? Acolyte, that you guys are all obsessed with. What's the one that he's in? Acolyte, right? Okay. I haven't seen Acolyte because it's usually not my cup of tea, those kinds of shows, Star Wars shows. But I know y'all have been singing his praises. He is so sexy. He is so he has such an ease. Oh my God. I almost want to watch it just for him. But he's a perfect example of why is he not in everything? Someone give me the dancing clip from, or maybe I'll just find it myself. Hold on. Manny. He deserves pretty privilege. He deserves everything. Okay, I need to find.
Sultry sounds.
Where is this clip of him? The Figure Friday dancing. Okay. Oh my God, come on. Yes, thank you. You know, we say that black don't crack, but I also say that Asian don't crack. Like Manny Jacinto is a guy who he is gonna look good forever. He's gonna look good forever. Okay, so then Simu Liu said, put some Asians in literally anything right now. The amount of backslide in our representation online or on screen is fucking appalling. Studios think we're risky. Minari, Farewell, Past Lives, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Crazy Rich Asians, Shang-Chi, every single one a financial success. No Asian actor is losing a studio even close to $100 million, but a white dude will lose $200 million twice and roll right into the next tentpole lead. Fucking Johnny Depp. We're fighting a deeply prejudiced system, and most days it sucks. Hollywood would rather cast washed up, ugly as fuck, abusive assholes who are losing studios money. They would rather cast them over an Asian actor, over a black actor, over an actor who's like not Jared Leto. Hiroyuki Sanada could have had a much bigger career in America if he was given a chance when he was young. And he is so fine. He is so fine. I mean, I'm saying it. Arab actors aren't taken seriously, only comedies. Yes. I mean, right now I'm talking about Asian representation because of Simu Liu's post. But this is an across the board issue still. This is still something where we are, what was I just reading the other day? Yeah, about when you compare like 2025 to even 5 years ago, the backsliding in representation, it was like, oh, all of these pledges that studios have made, that the industry has made, where they're like, yeah, we're not gonna just cast white people behind the camera, in front of the camera, we're not just gonna have like male directors. The progress, the little progress that's been made, how we have regressed from that. We're fighting a deeply prejudiced system, and most days it sucks. Yes, and it just feels still that it feels still that unless it's an Asian, one of the rare Asian directors who has the ability to drive a vehicle that gives opportunities to Asian actors like Celine Song's Past Lives, then there's just the opportunities are few and far between. And when there are opportunities, God forbid if, like I said, it's not a home run, then the message, the takeaway is, oop, I guess we can't see. Oh, we were right all along. Can't have women directing films. Can't have actors of color in lead roles. Did you see the positive article Variety did about James Franco? No. Ah! Hold on a second. I just spilled my fucking drink. Okay, I think that's enough. Thank you, Sky. A guy, right, who he's not a dancer in the film. This is just a scene where he and Lindsay Lohan have been rehearsing to do, I think, a dance for their wedding or something. But he's He's so sexy. He really, really is. And why is he not in why is he not in more romantic lead roles? Why is he not in everything? Is my question. Cutie McBitty, thank you for the gifted. Zit Ronograph, thank you for the 37 months. Okay, so here was the original thread. Hollywood, put more Asian men in romantic lead roles. Like, oh, I know, man. I know. I feel like we only get Asian men in romantic lead roles when they are films by Asian people or films where like the lead female is also Asian. So Crazy Rich Asians. What was the one with Be My Maybe, I think. Was that what it was called? You know what I'm talking about? Always Be My Maybe with Ali Wong and Randall Park. Yeah, not a lot here. The one with Keanu, yes. Past Lives. Yep. Past Lives. Despite many fans asking to see him in more rom-coms, Manny Jacinto revealed that since Freakier Friday, Hollywood has opted to offer him dad roles. Now I think I'm getting... That's crazy. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. This man is so sexy. Why are you putting him in dad roles? He's only 38. Why? Hollywood, you are wasting some of the sexiest motherfuckers out there. Now I think I'm getting dad roles. How do you watch Freakier Friday 2 and be like, you know what that guy should be in? He should be in dad roles. Like, yeah, he plays a dad in the film, but that shouldn't be the takeaway. And yet they cast ugly white men in romantic leads. Those are the dads, bro. I know. Like a dad role in a movie where the daughter's friends want to fuck her friends' dads, or that's right. I'm like, okay, maybe if very specifically it's like a, I don't know, it's that kind of movie. It's an American Beauty, but without it being problematic. You know? Guys, I don't think that's me yet. I'm sorry. Let's pull it back. This industry is always a little weird, the actor laughed. Now I think I'm getting dad roles or dad auditions. I'm like, guys, I don't think that's me. Let's pull it back. Put me back in the box, actually. Though his tone was light, he did muse that his resistance was also just because I'm stubborn. I hate being put in any box. The stubborn artist in me wants to just do anything and everything. Wasn't he Jason in The Good Place? Yes. Yeah, I am. And here's the thing too. One stereotype that Asian men have always had to deal with, a really harmful stereotype, is that Asian men are sexless, that they are like, that they're effeminate to the point of like being sexless, that they are the sidekick character, but not the lead. They are, versus Asian women being overly sexualized, being hypersexualized. Asian men have the inverse of that. And so that's why like Crazy Rich Asians was such a breakthrough film, but at the same time, you know, Henry Golding is mixed race. He's gorgeous, and the actor who plays the best friend in the film who's getting married is also gorgeous, and where's that guy too? I saw him at the club one time. I saw him. What is his name? Hold on. See, it's like I'm saying, what is his name? Because he's not in enough. Like, this is just a great, wait, where the fuck? Him, Chris Pang. Was he hot IRL? He was so hot. Yeah, him. Christopher Pang. He's Australian. He plays Colin in Crazy Rich Asians. He's the one who's getting married. So hot. He showed up to the club one night. I was like, oh my God, I thought you were great in Crazy Rich Asians. Why aren't you in more stuff? Okay. Anyway, I know I'm kind of going off on little tangents, but the point being, it's like, even in that film, Henry Golding is the lead. Henry Golding, who is mixed race. Zenyatta, thank you for the 13 months. John Cho says that despite the amazing Selfie, where he proves he's the perfect rom-com lead, he did not get many offers in this genre. Hollywood, what you doing? That's always the question. Daniel Day Kim says Asian representation in Hollywood, this is from 2011, has gotten better, but there's still room for improvement. I still haven't played a romantic lead, and I've been doing this for 30 years. It's like, why didn't he have a career like a Brad Pitt? Right? Like, this man aged better than Brad Pitt. And that's the thing, too. I'm just going to say it. These white actors do not age beautifully in the way that my Asian men out there do. Aging like milk. And yet they still get those roles. Still get those roles. At one point, Daniel Day Kim was basically the only Asian actor. Yes, because that's what happens. It's like, you're one of the few who makes it through. You still don't get the opportunities that your fellow white actors do. And yet you're still one of the only ones, and you have just, you're it. You're the representation. Yeah, and look, Jack Nicholson is a great actor. Jack Nicholson has played romantic lead parts. I'm sorry, but Jack Nicholson has never looked like your romantic, your romantic lead. Many such examples of this. Celsius for me. I think methinks that's enough Celsius. When I'm knocking the Celsius over, that's when methinks it's time to put it away. Just one more sip. Just one more sip. Just one more. Bartender, cut her off. Bartender, that's enough. The true lack of representation are the execs. You can have diverse actors and directors. At the end of the day, some old white guy exec will shut it down. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And unfortunately, the gatekeepers in Hollywood are largely still old, white, and male. And when I look at people like, people like David Ellison and Larry Ellison trying to come in and sweep up as much of Hollywood as they can, it doesn't bode well. And when Larry Ellison's or David Ellison says shit like how their goal is to basically bring back the good old boys club, which it's like, okay, that never really went away, but glad to know that that's what your vision is for the future of Hollywood. It's concerning. It is. Suffering Soul, thank you for the 28 months. Ken Watanabe and Hiroyuki Sanada were both in The Last Samurai, but only Ken had a career in Hollywood immediately after that movie. Yeah, and like Ken, still an actor like Ken, I look at his films and it's like, okay, Memoirs of a Geisha, Last Samurai, Letters from Iwo Jima, Godzilla. He does have Inception in there, which he was great in, but it's just, it still is like you are relegated to a certain type of film, and it's the rare performer who can break through that and land opportunities that go beyond being typecast. But it's very rare. And it's still never at the same level as their white peers. Did you ever get around to finishing Dispatch? If not, you plan on playing the last episodes. I am planning on playing. In fact, I think I'm going to play tonight. But so yeah, I'm with Simu on this. And he's been dropping some bass takes on the timeline lately. The roles offered to black actresses and after their Oscars and their career trajectory compared to white actresses is always so noticeable. And this conversation started off because of dummies on the internet calling for Michelle Yeoh's Oscar to be taken away because she was miscast in Wicked 2. And it's just a reminder that we take notice. We take notice of that kind of stuff. And considering the fact that Michelle is one of two non-white actresses to win the Best Actress Oscar, the other one being Halle Berry. And it was like 21 years in between those wins. And Lord knows when we'll get the next one. Yeah, it's absurd regardless of a miscast. Mind-blowing when you think about Hiroyuki Sanada has been acting for 60 years. Damn! Gorgeous man. And who was it? What motherfucker was it? Aaron Sorkin, who once upon a time said something about how like Asians can't play. Asians can't be stars, something like that. There's this perception that Asian actors just simply don't have the ability to be great versatile performers like their white peers. And there is this really racist, still persisting belief that like Asians aren't as expressive as white people are, that the reason they don't get those opportunities is because they're simply just not good enough. They simply just can't express enough. It was from the Sony email leaks. Yes, indeed. I left word for you at your office a few hours ago. The answer to your question is Mike. He emailed me yesterday and asked which I planned on writing first, Molly's Game, The Politician, or Flash Boys. I wrote back that Flash Boys is research intensive and that I was also going to need time to come up with a plot as one doesn't exist in the book, whereas Molly's Game is ready to be written right now and the only research I need is Molly. I told Mike that for that reason I'd be doing both at the same time and that in fact I'd already start the process. Mike wrote back that the studio would prefer I deliver Flash Boys before starting Molly's Game. I was then told by Mark Gordon that Sony was withdrawing its interest in Molly's Game. I wondered what happened between our lunch, where you showed a lot of enthusiasm for Molly's Game and in fact bristled at the idea of me even meeting with other studios in yesterday. All of this is happening against the backdrop of the disintegration of Steve Jobs, which is completely blowing my mind. I asked Ari a question on the phone and he was unable to answer it, so I'll ask you. If I turned in a terrific draft of Flash Boys, why would it have a better chance of getting made than Steve Jobs? The protagonist is Asian American, actually Asian Canadians. There aren't Asian movie stars. There's no precedent for stories about high frequency trading creating a stampede to the box office. Aren't you asking me to spend another year writing a movie you won't make and sign a contract you may or may not honor? So here's the thing. Okay. This was an email from 2014. And basically he is lamenting that Flash Boys would have an Asian American protagonist because according to Aaron Sorkin, there are no Asian movie stars, which, okay, a whole bunch of problems here, obviously. One, yeah, Sorkin is saying an Asian lead can't carry a movie. That's essentially what he's saying. When he's saying there's no Asian movie stars, he's saying that there are not Asian actors who are capable of carrying his lead film. Secondly, this is problem creating problem. Maybe there's a lack of Asian talent, not because there's actually a lack of Asian talent, but because y'all motherfuckers refuse to cast them, because you still persist in this belief that Asian performers are inferior, that like one, the public doesn't want Asian movie stars, two, that they're just not capable of it. So therefore, you know, when you're not giving the opportunities, when you have a film here that's an adaptation of a book that has an Asian American protagonist, and still you are so close-minded in your belief that, well, it's just not possible. It's simply not possible. Yeah, I mean, this is a very cynical look at how Hollywood's industry puts limitations on Asian actors. There is so much talent. There is talent in every every minority, every ethnicity, every race. There is no lack of talent. There is not this like, oh, white people are just inherently better at acting. No, that's not the case. It's just that the industry has by and large permitted white performers to be the leads in films and to be, you know, directing said films, to be greenlighting said films. Why do you think Hiroyuki Sanada stayed in Japan? Why do you think actresses like Maggie Q end up going to Hong Kong? Because they'll have better opportunities there. Many such examples of Asian actors who are either from Asian countries or are, you know, from America, who will go to Asia or stay in Asia because they'll have more opportunity. I like Timothy Chalamet, but I don't need him to be in every movie. Yes, same with same with like a Jacob Elordi or many such examples. Anyway, anywho, y'all know what's up. I'm here. I'm here for. I am here. Is it bad I've seen only 2 of those films? I mean, a lot of them are Japanese films because Hiroyuki Sanada stayed in Japan rather than try and forge his path in Hollywood. Like, he's had roles in some Hollywood films, and I think the show Shogun, obviously, that came out on Hulu, I think that really exposed him to a Western audience that maybe wasn't aware of him before, or maybe recognized him as like, oh, I think I've seen that guy. But yeah, so Gong Li would have been a huge star if she had been born in the United States. Right. Okay. All right. Suffering Soul, thank you for the 28 months. Wait, what was I saying? Oh yes, I was saying I will not rest until somebody like Manny Jacinto is starring in everything. I simply will not rest. And if Hollywood tries to cast him in dad roles, well, I'll have something to say about that. Remember Zhang Ziyi? Yes. Yeah. I mean, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Memoirs of a Geisha, Rush Hour 2, because apparently that's like one of the only Hollywood franchises that Asian actors can end up in. Okay, wait, why? Who linked me this? America Missed Out on This Hottie. Takeshi Kaneshiro from Marie Claire, Japan, 2002. Yeah. When you expand your horizons past white people, there are many hotties out there. Many hotties out there who also aren't going to age like motherfucking milk. Breaking news, hot people come in all kinds. Yeah. And you know what's crazy is when I was growing up, because I was only surrounded by white people, the only times that I would really see Asian faces, especially Asian male faces, was my family. And I developed this like inability to find Asian men sexy because I associated them so closely with my family, where like because I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but like, because growing up, Asian males were family members of mine. Like, that's who I came, that was my experience. Like, there was this familial, I think, connection. And as I got older, I like didn't, it was something that I like needed to explore. And I came to understand like, oh, it's because even though I'm Asian, I also have not been exposed to diversity. And as far as like Asian faces, like, it's my family that I'm used to. Girl, you just unlocked trauma for a bunch of us. Thank you for this reflection. Do you know what's so funny? I mentioned that to, I think it was Stella. I was talking about this in China. And she was like, oh my God, I don't think I really realized that about myself until now. I was like, yeah, I think it's a thing that maybe people don't talk about a lot. Cause like growing up, I was taught to romanticize or to, be attracted to white faces. Cause that's who I would see in like romantic, if I would ever watch a rom-com or just a family film, like that's who it was. And then in my personal life, it was the only Asian men I was around were my family members. And so moving to California, and then of course here I am, ended up with a white man, but no, moving to California was the first time that I dated non-white men and like started to have romantic connections with men who weren't white. But he's the hot white man. I will tell you, when Will and I, when we first, well, we didn't even date. That's the thing. We didn't even date. We just ended up together. I don't even know. You know what? Actually, I don't even think we're dating because we're not even boyfriend girlfriend because there was no official. There was no dating and there was no like, will you be my girlfriend? So I think we really are just roommates. Anywho. Oh, yeah, I did not forget that I'm Austin Show's girlfriend. No, of course not. Please. Austin Show's my boyfriend. But anyway, so this is why like being exposed to diversity, why seeing representation on screen is so important. One of the few some of the few crushes I remember having were from Disney movies. Shang in Mulan, Aladdin in Aladdin. Some of the few instances of seeing, romantic leads, I guess, in films that I would have watched growing up. And I had a huge crush on Shang, but anyway, that was like an exception to what was normal though. Takeshi Kaneshiro tried to enter the Japan market with Returner in 2002, but he wasn't successful there. He went back to make Chinese movies. This man is, come on. If I'd seen him growing up, I would have been like, hello, I'm in love with him. I wouldn't have been crushing on Lance Bass, who was gay. You know what I'm saying? Are there any Black Disney princes? I guess from Prince, what's Frog Prince? The Frog Princess. Frog Princess? He's light skinned, yes. So technically, yeah, Naveen. Is he even black? Or is he South Asian? Hold on. He's ethnically ambiguous. He's ethnically ambiguous. I think he's South Asian though. So Tiana is black. She was the first black princess. That was a big deal. He's tan for sure. Yeah, he's tan. They made him tan. And then Black Panther came along, which was, which was groundbreaking in its representation. But anyway, I don't know if anybody relates to that, but it's just something that I wish that I had that kind of representation, not just to see myself, but to understand that Asian men absolutely are romantic leads, absolutely are just as gorgeous and charming, and you fall in love with them in the way that you would like Leo DiCaprio in Titanic. Only representation I saw as a kid was Bobby Lee. And my dad is Chinese and my mom is Irish. And I remember growing up that so many people assumed that my mom was the one who's Chinese, that I would have like classic white dad and Asian mom. And that it was always shocking finding out that, in fact, my dad is Chinese. That's why my last name is Kwan. And there would be like, there were like Asian dudes who would always kind of express wonder at the fact that my dad in our family was the one who was Asian versus what was more common, which is a white white dad and Asian mom. And I didn't really understand it as a kid, but it was something that I understood more when I got older, which is that it was unusual. It was something that if it came to a mixed race Asian couple, typically the woman was Asian. And so I will say, I do think like on the one hand, because I've talked to a lot of friends who grew up with like the white dad and the Asian mom, and how that kind of played a role for better or for worse in their own personal lives, and kind of the feeling when you are an Asian woman who dates a white guy and you're like, oh my God, am I just fulfilling the stereotype? Am I just fulfilling the stereotype? Am I not allowed to, can I not love a white person without fulfilling a stereotype? Typically there was a socioeconomic, especially if you find, especially in like a situation too, where someone's dad, like maybe was military, maybe was stationed over in Asia, that kind of thing. And yes, you can absolutely, you can love whoever you want. Love is love, right? Love who you want. If you're so lucky to find love, hang on to it. But there is that reality of the history behind the coupling of Asian women with white men that does complicate things. And I think for me, as I got older too, and kind of became just more conscious, more just politically and socially aware, and the journey I had to take as well of undoing my own internalized racism, my own like ignorance, because I too did not grow up around diversity aside from my family. And so anyway, all that to say, representation is not just checking a box. It's not just, oh, let's throw an Asian person on screen to check a box. You know, that's tokenizing. That's also not great. Representation is important for a multitude of reasons. And I just think about like, I think about, you know, little Asian kids growing up in this country today, and it's better than what it was when I was growing up as far as representation goes, but still, like, they should get to see themselves in everything. They should get to see themselves reflected in every genre of film, and in you know, in a way that feels so normal and does feel reflective of the great diversity that makes up this country. The last man I dated told me that for most men, Asian women are the level boss and blondes are the final bosses. I don't date anymore. Well, I promise you not every man is like that out there, but I do understand you have enough dating horror stories that can turn you off. I mean, I have you know what? Honestly, I've had my fair share too of that kind of shit that it's a wonder I it's a wonder I ended up in a relationship with a white dude for as long as I have been. Although, as I said, technically I don't even think we're dating because there was never any There was never any officiating of it. But yeah, I mean, I used to always go through someone's history. I'd be like, how many Asian girls have you dated? Where did you grow up? Because if you grew up in, say, the Bay Area, not as sus. If you grow up in like the middle of Nebraska and you happen to date the 3 Asian women around, a little more sus. A little more sus when the only people that you have found yourself with are Asian women, and then you throw in the fact that you live in a place that not a lot of them around. You know what? Nebraska is catching strays, and I blame it on Austin show. When I was just like throwing a state out there, just randomly throwing a state out there, I said Nebraska because Austin has beef with Nebraska. Now I live in Kansas. My stepdad separated from my half Viet mom for another half Viet woman. Oh boy. Yeah. And here's what I will say too. If you're out there, you're trying to date, if say you relate to any of the stuff I've been saying, please know not everybody is like that. And you will know when somebody has a fetish and when they are potentially fetishizing you. I don't want to be doom and gloom and be like, there's no hope. But it's something that is just part of your reality, and it's an unfortunate part. And I just, it's something that I like to talk about openly because I think it's important. I do. And I think it's something that people don't like to talk about openly and don't like to address. Hey, Miss Kwan, I'm Happy Fun Pancake. How are you doing? Hi, Happy Fun Pancake. What a happy fun name. Hope you're having a good day, ma'am. I am. You know what I could use right now? Pancakes. Love for Hot Daddies. Thank you for the 20 months. Princess Claude, thank you for the 29 months. Kula Rooney, thank you for the 2 months. Why is being normal and treating other people with dignity and respect so hard? That's the question that I think we ask ourselves all the time. All the time. Oh, wait, I forgot to vote for Streamer Awards. Should we do that? I think it closes soon. Let me do that. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm looking for the man in the mirror. All right. Okay. All righty. Let's do a little voting. And then I think I'll probably just get into gaming. That was really the only plan that I had for tonight. And here I am 2 hours in. 2 hours in. Hogan, thank you for the gifted sib. Hoggerson, thank you. Oh, thank you for the Hoggerson, thank you for the 14 months. Okay. I found an absurdly great playlist you will want to look at for movie nights. Oh. Oh, shit. They have Woman Under the Influence on there. Ooh, okay. Thanks for the link. Matt Evie, thank you for the 23 months. JJ, thank you for the 10 months. All right, y'all. Best music streamer. Streamer who creates the best music content showcasing talents such as singing, playing instruments, DJing, producing, composing, or more. I got to go with my boy, Ari at Home. Ari at Home, who had a collab with the incoming mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani. Oh, how these circles between politics and live streaming content creation have just overlapped in a way that I didn't think I would ever see. Okay. Best creative art streamer. Streamer who creates the best art, food and drink, dance, cosplay, ASMR. We have Rose Doodle, Dizzy Kitten, Emmy Roo, Barley the Burr, or I Gumdrop. You know who I'm going to vote for? I'm going to vote for Jamie. I'm going to vote for I Gumdrop. I think she makes great cooking content. Squeak said Zoran's team reached out to him for a collab, but he declined because he was nervous. You know what's funny about that? So Taylor Lorenz had reached out to me and said, hey, do you know any New York streamers who would want to do like a thing with Zoran? And I said, well, honestly, the only New York streamers I know are not really political. I don't know if they would be, jumping at an opportunity, even though I think it'd be so cool and I would jump at that opportunity. Squeaks was one of them that I named. Jay Schlatt, my favorite politics streamer. Yeah, so sadly, Squeaks didn't end up collabing with Zoran, but maybe next time he can collab with the future mayor of New York City. Okay. You know, the thing is too, I get it. If you're not a political streamer, I get not doing a political collab. You know? Good night, Mr. Sonic Gen. All right, best roleplay streamer. I cannot believe Will didn't make this. I'm going to be so for real, y'all. I really thought that Will was going to get nominated, and I am so devastated. We need to have more motion. We need more motion, y'all. It's crazy because I know we all voted for him. His community was really pushing for him. All of his Rust people were pushing for him. Does he stream RP? I mean, he did a ton of RP between Rust, what's the Peak? Yes. Rust, Peak. What was the one where he first introduced Timmy Game Guy? What was that game called? Repo. Yes. Yeah, so he absolutely had the hour requirement as well. Maybe it's just because he RP'd across a variety of games. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's not known as an RPer, but Will is, in my opinion, Will is one of the best RPers out there because he's one of the best improvers. He's so good at making characters, committing to characters, and doing hours and hours of like truly hilarious fucking content. It's his thing. He's so good at it. Yeah, I mean, he just produced the Woker when we were in China. Anyway, he should have pushed his campaign with free buses to counter the leftist turnout. Ugh, that's what I'm saying, man. He should have been like, look, we're gonna get you free buses. We need to get both yours and Will's clips out there. Both of you are so deserving. I will say the clip industrial complex, I have come to understand, is so valuable, is like a huge way that content creators are constantly in the nexus. And I don't want to just have clips when I'm being harassed by LSF or by, you know, these various bozos out there who have nothing better to do than to like harass people like me. That cannot be why my why my clips are circulating. So it's also why, you know, I've given permission for people to use my content. You know, if you have a YouTube channel, whatever it is, you have my permission to use my content here on stream because it also helps me out, you know? Dog, my not very online friends have seen your Japanese mask and bowl cut clip. Yes, let's go. Let's go, baby. Anyway, okay. Y'all should have gone to China earlier. Billy was stuffed the ballot box. Billy would have had us for sure. You know what? Next year, one of my goals is to to Knives Out and didn't make it into Odyssey. Poor Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is like, well, I guess even though I'm a 3-time Oscar winner, it's Jover. Dude, I'm so behind on movies at this rate. I'm going to be a year late to every new film, which happened to me last year. I will tell you, you really have to make an effort. You have to like set aside. You can't just casually watch. You have to be like, okay, I'm going to watch 6 movies today. Boom, 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 boom. I usually do this during Christmas week when there's really not a lot going on. Work has come to a standstill. That's when I usually like to just crush films. Yeah, y'all, there's going to be movies that there are going to be movies that I also missed out from last year or the year before. It happens. And then sometimes I'll watch Final Destination for the 15th time and I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this when I have films that I need to watch? Did you see Final Destination Bloodlines? Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so anyway, I did finally watch Materialist. What else did I watch? I watched Del Toro's Frankenstein. Loki has not been a strong year. You know what? Even though I haven't watched as many movies as I need to, I kind of concur. I kind of was thinking that last night. I was like, I don't think this is a very strong year, because considering that I wasn't like the biggest fan of One Battle After Another, which seems to be emerging as one of the major contenders this year. There's just been a couple films that I really, really dug. Some of the films that I absolutely loved, I know aren't yet, like, they're not even the types of films that will be in consideration for Oscar season. Anyway, okay. What else? I have two films on here. I need to watch Marty Supreme with Timmy Chalamet. It's been interesting. You know what's been interesting? To see some people on the internet try to kind of start drama with Timothy Chalamet, because I don't know, he keeps talking about how much he wants to, how sad he was that he didn't win the Oscar, and I don't know, it's kind of odd. I feel like people are, look, not to pull a Club Chalamet or anything, but I do kind of feel as if there is this weird forced hate against Timmy Chalamet, which usually it's towards women. So, I mean, I guess it's refreshing that it's a young white dude who's otherwise very popular in Hollywood. But it's very strange. Yeah, I've seen it happening with Rachel Sennett, which, I mean, I even said this earlier, but look, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. Somebody goes, something is off about this lady. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe because there's nothing, and maybe because you're just trying to start another hate campaign. And we are not going to stand for another half a hate. Like, what does that even mean? People just love to do this, though. They love to be like, something's not right about that gal. So I think I fucking hate her, and I think maybe she should die. Here we go again, y'all. Here we go again. This happens all the time. I know. Anyways, so I have kind of seen it happening too with Timmy Chalamet, which I'm like, oh God, are you going to make me get out there and defend Timothy Chalamet alongside Club Chalamet? Oh, come on. Just more proof that gamers don't get the respect they deserve. Straight up. Straight up. That's what I'm saying, Okay. So, boop, 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 boop. Okay. The Mastermind. Yeah, that is the one about, that's with Alana Haim. 2025 crime. Oh, right. That's Josh. That's the art heist one. Yeah. Wait, is that out? Yeah, that's out right now. Should I watch Kiss of a Spider Woman? Should I watch the film and then make my entire personality about how Jennifer Lopez was wronged? Okay, so I saw somebody, and I think I said this before, but I saw somebody who was like, Jennifer Lopez, the actress, doesn't get it, or what was it? It was like, Jennifer Lopez, the actress, doesn't get enough credit and is not obnoxious in the way that like Jennifer Lopez, the singer, is. I can't remember. It was something to that effect. It was like, there's J-Lo, the actress, and then there's J-Lo, the pop star, singer, whatever. No, it's not the same person. No, it's two different. Where I think people, because J-Lo is absurd and because all of just the shit she's been involved in over the last year, with her personal life and then with that tour that she ended up canceling, I think people were like, oh, Kiss of a Spider Woman is just going to be ass because it's J-Lo. What if it turns out J-Lo has a twin? That would be wild. And her name is like, I don't know, Halo. She's like, I don't know her. Hannah YDN, thank you for the 13 months. Yeah, J-Lo saying about Halo, I don't know her. Okay, you know what? We'll put it on there. Kiss of a Spider Woman. What the hell? Sure. Okay, what else are the people talking about that I'm missing out on? Sorry Baby, I already watched that one. Okay, I do need to watch Begonia. Will asked me last night, he's like, do you want to watch Begonia? I said, do you want to watch Begonia? You're the biggest Yorgos hater I know. I said, do you want to watch it? If you want to feel depressed, there's Die My Love. Yes, I do. I do want to feel depressed. And I do want to watch Jennifer Lawrence's new film. I've heard really great things about it too. Rob Patz and J Law. Okay. All right. What else? What else do I need? Do you know what film? Yo, I feel I fear that music biopics are not doing great these days, considering that Springsteen, which was the film, the Springsteen biopic starring Jeremy Allen White, like came and went. Absolutely no noise, nothing. It came out. It came out like a month ago, or maybe when I was in China. I don't know. You know who's also been flopping like a fish? Sydney Maga Sweeney. Her last 3 films have all been bombs. Like, girl. Yeah, her next movie is going to be a big hit. Well, she's an it girl right now, so she's in like a million movies. But it's just kind of funny because it's like, girl, you know that the audience, which now is allegedly who your people are, they're not going to watch your movies. And I will say, I do think the negative press against Sydney has been detrimental to her. I mean, it'll be fine because she'll be in big movies too, but Taylor Lorenz did a really good vid on Sydney a few weeks ago. I believe it's called, oh, I need to watch that. Let me bookmark that. Let me bookmark that now that we're getting back into things. How Sydney Sweeney lost the culture war. Okay. Let me bookmark that. Lilith, thank you for the 28 months. Crockett, thank you for the 22 months. Her boyfriend's PR company working overtime calling paparazzi to every location she's at. Oh boy. That motherfucker. Yeah, her next movie is with Amanda Seyfried. I know, and I love her so much. I do. Okay, what else have I seen? Oh, I do need to watch Wicked 2. Not that I think it's going to be good, but I already gave my thoughts on Wicked 2. I already said from the get-go, when they announced that Wicked was going to be split into 2 movies, an understander of Wicked, the show, went, that's crazy, because Act 2 of Wicked is notoriously weak. Like all the great songs, minus No One Mourns the Wicked, happen in Act 1. And then the story, it just is very like Deus Ex Machina. And the fact that the first movie was 2.5 hours and then we were still getting a second movie. The press tour's been crazy. I mean, the press tour of last year was crazy too. It's just been wild to me, without even having seen this film, how many people are like, Ariana's finally gonna win. I'm like, what? Okay, can I tell you one genre of tweet that I can't stand? I try not to be a dick about it, but I cannot stand. I cannot stand when somebody will post like a snippet from, say, Wicked 2. I'm just going to use Wicked 2. And be like, the format of the tweet is like, so-and-so's Oscar is calling. I'm like, you need to watch more movies. I'm sorry. You need to watch more movies. If you think Jonathan Bailey in Wicked 2, like his Oscar is calling, you just gotta watch more films. You do. Hamnet. Oh yeah. I gotta put Hamnet on there. I saw someone say that about Ethan Slater as well. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, and I know it's the stands. I know. But I'm like, come on, please just watch at least 3 other films. If you're saying Ethan Slater, your Oscar's calling you. Can we talk about the reverse where people want to take away Michelle's Oscar? Okay, let's talk about it. First of all, let's remember the fact that Michelle Yeoh deserved her Oscar. But aside from that, Michelle Yeoh is one of 2 actresses of color who's won the Best Actress Oscar. And it's very interesting to see the calls for her Oscar to be taken away just because she was not the right casting as Madame Morrible. Seeing Noah Schnapp act. His Emmy is calling. Excuse me, where's Noah Schnapp's Emmy? Anyway. Okay, wait, let me see if I can find one tweet. Did I retweet it? Let me see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Michelle Yeoh, returning the Oscar isn't enough. It's stuff like this, and I think he turned off his mentions because he was getting cooked. Some of you guys are incredibly weird when it comes to Michelle Yeoh's Oscar win. We know why, but she gave a generational performance in Everything Ever All at Once. You'll just have to live with that fact forever. Also, hello, let's not get it wrong. There's one person who should have their Oscar taken away from that film, and it's not Michelle Yeoh. We all know who it is. We all know who should have their Oscar taken away from that film, and it's definitely not Mother Michelle. There's only one right answer. There's only one correct answer there. Yes, it's Miss Activia. Okay, anyway, so here's the thing about Michelle Yeoh. She did not cast herself. She told John Chu that she is not a singer. She's not a singer. We know she's not a singer. And yeah, it's crazy because Cheryl Lee Ralph was right there. Cheryl Lee Ralph, who has played MM on Broadway. She was right there, and John Chu still cast Michelle Yeoh. Okay, so it's not her fault. I agree, she was miscast. I don't think that you should choose somebody to play the role of Madame Morrible who is not a singer, especially when especially when you have cast actual singers. But anyway, yeah, I'm not here for the like calling on Michelle's Oscar to be revoked. The other thing too that's frustrating is how the expectations for non-white creatives is always so much higher, where it's like, man, how many fucking shit films do white people make, either starring in, directing, writing, etc.? Michelle Yeoh is allowed to not nail every role that she has. And the truth is she still is cast less than her like white contemporaries. This is a thing where, like, when I talked about this, where when Crazy Rich Asians was coming out, how much was riding on that film, and it was extremely successful. But it's just an example of how, on the rare occasion that you have like a film that's a majority black cast, or majority Asian cast, or like directed by a woman, et cetera, the expectations on, if this film is not the most successful in the world, then no more opportunities. When it's like those opportunities are so hard to come by still, and the pressure on those films, when it's like, I know I use him as an example all the time, but I will keep using him as an example. David O. Russell has not had a successful film in like over a fucking decade. Plus, he's an abusive piece of shit. And yet, the opportunities don't dry up. Also, yeah, Pacino, Streep, De Niro, all these A-list like great actors all have had terrible films. Okay, they've all had roles that it's like, okay, that was maybe for the bag. I don't know. Maybe it was an off day. Whatever. So anyway, it's like we can talk about Michelle Yeoh being miscast in that role, and we can talk about the other problems with Wicked 2 without being like, oh, she should never recast anything again. Oh, she should have her Oscar taken away. I also think Jeff was badly cast. I said that after the first Wicked film. I thought Jeff Goldblum, who I love, was miscast. I thought Michelle was miscast. There's always been this theme where someone wins an Oscar and ends up acting in a shit role in a shit film. Yes, they call it the Oscar curse. They call it the Oscar curse, where somebody wins an Oscar and then you would presume that they're at the height of their career, where what they do next is going to be on par with what they had just done that won them an award. But what tends to be the case, and why oh wow, thank you for the Shrek whatever that was. It was just a big picture of Shrek's face. Anyway, it's why they call it the Oscar curse. I propose that instead of more Wicked, they should adapt any of the other 38 books in the original Oz universe. Let's just get Wicked 3. Fuck it. Fuck it. The game is already against that kind of film, woke filmery. Yeah, I mean, just even having in this current era, you have anybody who's not white and it's woke. They're like, oh, it's a woke film. I'm like, is it? Wicked for Good was already kind of doomed the second half. Yes, and I said that as well. Like Wicked 2, the fact that Wicked 1 didn't win the awards that the fans hoped it would, there was no way that Wicked 2 was going to come along and make up for what Wicked 1 didn't win. It's just not. And I say this again without even having seen the film yet, but I know the show, it's just not possible. People do not know how to criticize media without turning shit into hate campaigns against minorities. Bingo. Anyway, do people like the back half of the live show less than the first? Yes. It's also much shorter. The second act is much shorter than the first act. Yeah, so the first act is which also is like, that's not unusual, but the first act is an hour and 30 minutes. And then act 2 is like a little less than an hour. Anyway, and it's also just not, it's just not as good. It's really not. Much like how the second half of Kill Bill is kind of meh. Yeah, wait, also, what did I see about Kill Bill 3? I don't know if I just had a... Did I hallucinate? I swear to God, I saw something about Kill Bill 3. I'm like, was this it? Quentin Tarantino wants to make an animated Kill Bill origin story. Why did I see it? What the fuck was it that I saw it and people were like, wait a second, I'm sorry, did I miss Kill Bill 3 coming that just came out? It was it was in Fortnite. Oh, okay. Fortnite let Quentin Tarantino finally finish Kill Bill his way. The first time the words Fortnite and Quentin Tarantino appeared together ahead of this new season, it sounded like such an odd fit. For one, Tarantino is an avowed supporter of physical media to the point that he only screens movies printed on film at his 2 Los Angeles area theaters. The idea that he would add his beloved characters to the digital toy box we call Fortnite seemed a bit far-fetched. Now with a bit of context, it makes a lot more sense. On Sunday, his new animated short film, The Lost Chapter, Yuki's Revenge, arrives in Fortnite. The short was developed in Unreal Engine 5 and uses Fortnite's assets to create a seriously vicious battle between the bride and Yuki Yubari, the sister of Kill Bill's Gogo Yubari. For it, Tarantino pulled a piece of his original Kill Bill script that he never originally wanted to cut. When you're dealing with something that's going to be drastically too long, then you start losing the things that are easy to lose that don't affect the story, but that was definitely the case with this. That's wild. Context bag. How funny is this, though? This isn't a mere cash grab by Epic Games, though, according to the director. Oh, okay. It would be a different story if Epic Games came to me and said, hey, look, can you come up with something to do with Kill Bill? Some cockamamie thing to yank out of your butt. And I'm not saying that wouldn't be cool, but it wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be organic. It wouldn't be literally a lost chapter. Mumblecat, thank you for the 31 months. 1337, thank you for the 6 months. It wouldn't be a lost chapter, so therefore it's not a cash grab. Okay, so that's what it is. Yeah, I thought I was losing my mind for a second when, I don't know, maybe in... at some point, I thought I had imagined a Kill Bill 3 and I went, have I been in a coma? There's also a new cut of both original films together with new finished anime sequences. I'm pretty sure the big Yakuza fight is no longer in black and white. Why?
Once upon a time, around the year 2003, there began a legend of bloody revenge. That was the warm up round.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, didn't he always want to release the two films? Wasn't that always his whole thing, is that he wanted Kill Bill to be one film and it would have been like 4.5 hours. And the studio was like, no.
You and I have unfinished business.
Baby, you ain't kidding. That woman deserves her
Revenge. Oh my God. R.I.P. Michael Madsen.
And
We deserve to die.
You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you?
Yeah, I kind of did.
Hi.
God, I still love Lucy Liu so much.
Come on. Well, give me the gore details. And we're talking the whole shebang.
Okay, I see what you mean. Because this scene, of course, her going up against the 88 is in black and white, but in the trailer it doesn't appear to be.
I've killed a hell of a lot of people to get to this point. And when I arrive at my destination, I am gonna kill Bill.
Apparently there's like 33 minutes of extra runtime since he showed them both together at Cannes, so even counting the new anime sequence, we're getting new footage. Yeah, and that's why he only counts this as one of his films, because famously Tarantino said he'll only make 10 movies. His intention was to only direct 10 feature films. So that doesn't include films that he's like written the screenplay for, produced on, and Kill Bill, I guess, has always counted as like one because that's how he intended it. He's so up his own ass. Yeah, that's the foot guy. That's the IDF loving foot guy. Fucking Quentin Tarantino is such a goddamn weirdo, but fucking makes really good movies. Yeah, I mean, not all his films are winners. Lucy Liu's in a new movie that might be quite defining for her as acting. Check out Rosemead. Lucy Liu. I'm trying to think of the last thing I saw Lucy Liu in. You know what I saw her in, which was actually really good, was the film Presence, which came out in 2024. This was Steven Soderbergh. And I think this was another one that he directed on, I want to say he directed it on phone. Yeah, it was definitely an experimental film, which was really good. So that's the last thing I saw her in. But she's got a new film. It's okay, Rosemead. Rosemead is a 2025 American drama film directed by Eric Lin, starring Lucy Liu as a terminally ill Chinese immigrant mother who discovers her teenage son's violent obsessions. Inspired by true events, the film follows her desperate struggle to protect him and others as her own health declines. Premiere at Tribeca Festival is scheduled for U.S. theatrical release on December 5th. 7-year journey. Wow. Okay, wait. I want to watch the trailer for this. I just have to say, Lucy Liu, even though she is one of the biggest Asian actresses in Hollywood, she should have had a bigger career. Absolutely. If she had been, if she had been white, or if she did not look as Asian as she looks, I think absolutely she would have had more opportunities. Just another example of somebody who went as far as they could, but sky was not the limit. And she's so much better than her career has afforded her the opportunities of. And that being said, she's still one of the most successful Asian actresses in the biz. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sad. This looks like it's going to be really heart-wrenching. Okay, and thank you for the gifted to Lucy. Kimberly, thank you for the tier 1. Mike, thank you for the 2 months. I don't get what the problem with the kid is. I think he has schizophrenia. It's interesting too because the subject material is one that we don't really see often in. I think mental illness being explored in an Asian family, especially an immigrant Asian family, provides an opportunity to kind of provides an opportunity to show a reality that is culturally, I think, something that's not really discussed openly. Not a story that you see often in film. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see Rose Byrne? If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I have not seen that yet. This is why I'm putting together If I Had Legs. I was reading a little bit about this. Isn't ASAP Rocky in it? Yeah, Rose Byrne's a mother whose life is falling apart while caring. It's also got Conan O'Brien. Is it good? Should I put it on the list? Yeah, wait, ASAP Rocky emerging as a serious actor, because he was in another film. He was in Spike Lee's film Highest to Lowest, which is Spike Lee's reimagining of Akira Kurosawa's High and Low. Was it bad? I haven't seen it yet. Is Spike Lee got to stop with the remakes? I feel I feel like Spike Lee, I don't know. The fact that he hasn't won an Oscar for directing. He has one Oscar for Black Klansman, but it was for Best Adapted Screenplay. He also has won an honorary Oscar for Lifetime Achievement, but I feel like he is like really driven by this deep desire to win a directing Oscar. And I just fear when you chase after something like that, it can affect it can affect your decisions, but Hollywood won't even give him funding to do that one boxing epic he's spoken of for 20 years for obvious reasons. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Sometimes it is what what funding can you get? And it's crazy that Spike Lee can't get the fun. You know, again, I just keep coming back to David O. Russell. I keep coming back to directors who don't deserve to keep getting any funding whatsoever. Skill Cylinder, thank you for the 39 months. Yeah, and then David Lynch struggling to get funding for his last film, and then he died. Hollywood, you will rue the day. Ava DuVernay has talked about that. Yeah, I mean, Ava DuVernay's film, what was that called? Origin. She and Anjanou Ellis-Taylor, who was the star of that film, they were like doing the marketing on their own. Anjanou Ellis-Taylor was outside of theaters handing out promotional materials for that film because they had no support whatsoever, and like how difficult it was for Ava DuVernay to get that, you know, to get that film made. And she's talked a lot about the difficulties she still faces, even with all, even with what a big name she is now and successful films that she's had. Meanwhile, Ryan Coogler is fighting for sinners to get acknowledged for awards. It's just like, it just never fucking stops. Okay, you know what? Actually, too, I wanted to talk about this. I feel